The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
2:30 in the morning! Oh, yeah, cats and kittens, welcome back to The Commercial Break. I'm Bryan Green. This is my dear friend and the co-host of this show, Kristen Joy Hoadley. Best to you, Krissy.
Best to you, Bryan.
Best to you out there in the podcast universe. A new day, a new dollar, as they say. Kristen Joy Hoadley.
I thought it's new day, new dawn.
Oh, it is?
I don't know.
Okay, well.
I don't know.
I'm just, checking the revenue line and...
We made
new
a dollar.
day, a new dollar. Yes. I think we made $1. We'll find out at the end of the month. Hey, did you hear about the most ridiculous thing that's ever happening? That Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson? Did you read about this?
I did indeed see the clip, the news headline.
I hope.
And I thought that is ridiculous.
Mike Tyson rips a Mike Tyson-sized hole in the middle of Jake Paul's chest.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Yes.
I think that guy is such a Yahoo. I
completely agree.
And there's no doubt he's a fighter. Like, he can fight. He's now had a number of, fights, and he's done well in most of them. And so I'm not looking for a fight with Jake Paul.
No.
Because I don't fight. That's not me. But I just can't stand the guy. He drives me fucking crazy. And him fighting Mike Tyson at 57 years old, I think Mike Tyson really has the upper hand here.
Good for Mike for even agreeing to it.
He is the best professional fighter since Muhammad Ali, maybe the greatest ever, and he knocks people out cold. And I'm on board. I'm on board with this. I just say July 20th, Netflix. I'm excited to see what happens. It's going to be on fucking Netflix.
Yeah, that's right. It's their first
live sporting event.
Yeah.
Well, what a way to go. I mean, how much do you think they're getting paid? How much do you think they're getting? Tens of millions of dollars each, right? It's got to be. Like, I think Floyd Mayweather makes like $100 million. He made $100 million for his fight against Pacquiao, if I'm not mistaken. $100 million. Now, I am not a fighter by trade or by want or by desire.
Right.
But I will say this. If you paid me $100 million,
you'd get in the ring?
I'd get in the ring. I would get in the ring. I would train up like a little Rocky, I'd take a day. I'd do a little Rocky montage. I'd chase the chickens around, beat the meat, run up the stairs, or in phases, like, some stairs in the morning, a few more stairs in the afternoon.
Two at a time.
Two at a time. Take a break to smoke a cigarette, and get up to the next two stairs. I would do all the right things. I would stare somebody in the face and, maybe headbutt them or something like that. I'd make a show out of it. But if you gave me $100 million, I would get in the ring with just about anybody, with the notable exception
of Mike
Tyson. Yes. I don't care how old that guy is. I think he's to be feared because he is a monster in the ring.
Looking at something a little while back with the guy that antagonized him on the plane. Remember? And then he unleashed on him.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, Mike.
And rightly so. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
That other dude knew what he was doing.
First of all, the plane behavior's gotten out of control. I wish Mike Tyson was on every flight. But second of all,
to
honestly,
restore order.
The guy has turned into kind of like a heavyweight Gandhi or something. He's like, now when he talks, there's some wisdom there, like some life lived. He understands a few things. He's raising pigeons for what reason, I don't know, but he's raising pigeons. And he's got some, I don't know, he's just got some wisdom. Now, he's had some troubles in his life.
I was going to say his early days.
He bit off an ear. He assaulted, who was it?
Robin Gibbons.
Robin Gibbons went to jail for it.
Yep.
But now he's, it seems like the last 10, 15 years of his life, he's just kind of become a revered.
Well, I think it's kind of been, he was in The Hangover,
Oh, he's so good in that shit. So good in that movie.
Since then, people have kind of.
The tide has turned a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's hard to forget that he raped somebody. That's not obviously something I would ever want to put on a resume of anybody that I enjoyed watching. But sometimes I do see interviews with him and I think, wow, he does have some wisdom up in that head of his, and he still has blocks for hands. He's going to train. He's going to kick the shit out of Jake Paul. That's my prediction on the show right here. And Jake, after you get the shit kicked out of you by Mike Tyson, if you would like to set up another fight on TCB minus, the new Netflix competitor that Krissy and I have been planning for 4 years, if you would like to do that and you want to bring $100 million to the table, I will also fight you. I don't mind. I won't be embarrassed if I get my ass kicked. I just won't. I don't care. I got $100 million. The fuck do I care? If I can just survive 10 How many minutes are in a round? 3 minutes? If I can just survive 30 minutes worth of fighting, I think the paycheck will have been worth it. Okay. Don't you think? That's life-changing cash. We could go back down to one episode every month, and we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you might be recovering for like the next year.
You might get serious head damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I won't fight Mike Tyson, is because I think all it takes is one punch from that guy. Those are murder weapons in his hands. Honestly, his hands are murder weapons. And if you put me in the ring, scrawny little, shitty little non-fighting Bryan in the ring, and I get hit one time squarely on the jaw, at least my kids will have the $100 million. Actually, think about it. Yeah. I'll fight Mike too. No problem. I got it. I'm in the ring.
It's your legacy to leave to the kids.
And my legacy is I'll be a vegetable just doing the commercial break. I'll come back to the commercial break.
Stephen Hawking's it.
Oh, God. Well, so I'm excited to see this fight. And
Me too. I mean, I can imagine everybody's going to be watching it.
And everybody
has Netflix.
Yes. So. And everybody's going to be rooting for
yes.
Mike. Everybody. Because I think Jake he turned a joke into a profession, and he made a joke out of the profession. You know what I'm saying? He was the same guy that was doing like TikTok dance challenges like 10 years ago. And now all of a sudden he's interjected himself into this professional boxing world. And it's not to say that's the wrong way to go about it. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. But I think that when Jake Paul fights, I still look at it as, and most of them are, exhibition matches. They aren't professional.
Right.
They're kind of jokey. You know, now his brother does it every once in a while. Like, it's just enough already.
Is
it's enough
specifically
already.
Boxing, or is there some kind of MMA?
No. This is boxing.
It's just only boxing.
Yeah. I don't think Mike, I think he was just filmed like walking around with a cane. Like, I think his knees are not
No,
great.
I wasn't thinking Mike Tyson was doing MMA, but Jake Paul.
No, I think he's been just doing boxing.
Just straight boxing.
Yeah, he's just been doing boxing. So July 20th, mark your calendars. We will have a lot to say about that in the upcoming months.
Yes, we
will watch it. Maybe we'll have a watch party where we put it on, and then people can tune in on Discord or something like that. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or they could just tune into Netflix.
Fuck you. They want the commentary. That's what they want. They want Bryan to talk over the real professional announcers. That's what you want. Record the Netflix. Come listen to Bryan talk about it.
That's right.
That's what they want. They don't want to watch it. They want to hear Bryan talk about it. Hey, listen, it's a TCB infomercial day, and today we have Preacher Lawson, very funny comic, finalist at the America's Got Talent. I think is where most people would know him from. Millions and millions and millions of people watch that.
It's a super popular show.
Super popular show, but now he's kind of carved a path of his own. PreacherLawson.com is where you get tickets to his new tour. He's got a YouTube channel. It's got tons of subscribers to it, and we've been watching some of his material. It's really funny. So I'm super interested to talk to Preacher about everything going. And I have important questions for him because I was laying in bed last night. Actually, it was like 2 nights ago. I was laying in bed and I woke up in the morning and I thought, I'm going to give my wife a big fat smelly kiss on her lips because I love her. And then I got nervous like a little kid. I was like, well, I probably have that morning breath that's really stanky. And I don't know if, every once in a while, even in marriage, you got to make an effort, right?
True.
So I went and I did the whole mouth wash, rinse thing and brushed my teeth and felt really good about going to give her a kiss. And then she left the house. So it's running out the door like, wait, let me give you a big fat kiss with my morning breath. Because my morning breath sometimes is fire. Fire. Isn't yours sometimes?
Sometimes.
I mean, not always.
Yeah.
I actually felt like my best.
Jeff tells me that mine is just so lovely every morning.
Oh, well, what are you doing? Different than what I'm doing. I almost feel like when I quit smoking cigarettes, my morning breath got worse. Like at least I had that tobacco flavored mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's not the best thing in the world, but it could be worse, I guess.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it's all the coffee that I drink in the morning is actually what it is. So, I don't know. I'll kiss you in a minute and we'll figure it out. Let's go listen. Let's go take a break. And we're here with Preacher now. Hi, Preacher. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Hi, Preacher.
Thank you. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Preacher.
Doing great.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the interview, I have a question inquiring minds want to know here at the commercial break. We're just having this discussion. Well, where is your stance on morning breath makeout sessions? Do you or don't you? Will you or won't you?
Oh yeah, I'll do it, man, but it's bad. I don't know why we're acting like it's not. It's so bad. And I know what I'm getting into, but it's like honestly, it depends how much I love this person, you know?
Oh yes. True.
Yeah. Like if I'm full on making out in the morning, we're getting married. Because that's
or we are married. One of the two. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. We're married. Yeah. I think that I don't know why breath stinks so bad in the morning. What's the reason for that?
I think it's because your mouth's open all night long and flies
are closed.
Roaches are crawling in
you
there and all
haven't
kind
had
of
any
shit.
hydration.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or it's just time to brush your fucking teeth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I do it in the morning and before I go to bed, but it just doesn't last that long. That good smell doesn't last that long. Krissy here says that she has magical morning breath. I do not have more magical morning breath, so I don't do morning breath making out usually, but on occasion.
Maybe it's because I get up in the middle of the night and have like some water.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's the key.
Oh, wow. Who does that? Who gets up in the morning and has water that makes you not sleep because you got to pee.
You got to pee.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. And if you get to my age, you got to pee 4 to 5 times a night anyway. That prostate's like a bowling ball. I just got
I get thirsty.
You're a young man, so you're not there yet, are you? Are you getting up
If
in the
I
middle of the
drink
night?
water within 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours. If I drink water 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed, I'm going to be waking up peeing. So I just don't
like
drink any water.
Sips?
Yeah.
Sips?
No.
I'm with Preacher. I'm with Preacher
I
on this
can't
one.
drink.
Maybe
I
I have a
can't
larger
drink.
bladder. It's
Well,
the key to good morning breath.
what am I going to do? Go get my bladder taxed?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can't. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing surgery on bladder upsizing.
Bladder stretch.
Now.
It's a bladder
But-
stretch.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a normal sized bladder. I haven't really compared it to other people, but I'm like that probably looks like a good amount of bladder. You know, I haven't really been on too many football teams where I could be in the locker room and be like, "Yeah, I'm even." It's about even, but I think I'm regular. So if yours is bigger than mine, like
Yeah. Krissy just has magical
big-
breath and magical bladder.
Big bladder energy.
I got that big bladder energy. You are on an epic tour right now. Tell me, are you a big fan of the touring? Like we talked to a lot of comics, and some of them say yes, it's just my natural state of being. I like being out on the road and changing up scenery. And then quite a few will say no, it's not it's just part of the gig, right? I just do it because I have to. How do you feel about the tours?
yeah, I just understand both of what they're saying. Both sides. Like I have to be on tour because I just have to be working, and I love performing. I think all the comedians hate are the traveling part, like the TSA and the going to the airport and then being on a plane, being uncomfortable on a lawn chair in the air.
Yeah.
So for hours, I think that's uncomfortable. But if you can teleport and just do the show, I think people would love it. But I just think the uncomfortability of like being in a different bed. But I'm not going to complain, even though I want to complain about a lot of things because it's better than my other jobs.
Fuck yeah.
It's the only job they can't fire me in, and I've been fired a lot, like so many. I think most of the times was I fired? No, I think I was only fired one time. I just was really bad at other jobs.
You quit before you got fired. That's what happened.
Yeah,
you quit before you got fired. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I used to do. I knew my time was up, so I would beat them to the punch. It was kind of like that's my track record with the relationships too. Is I would just break up with them before they had a chance to.
Yeah.
I spare myself the embarrassment. But now
That's
the TSA. I don't know if you read the story, but the TSA is now testing in Vegas.
I saw that.
You can go through the TSA security by yourself, and they just walk you through the process. And if you have a problem or a gun, I guess, then they'll call you out on a
it's
screen.
self-checkout.
Yeah, it's a self-checkout. So you self-check-in.
Yeah.
You just walk through the TSA. You put your hands up so that they can screen your body and throw your bags through the machine. But you come in contact with no TSA agents whatsoever. It's just like you just go.
Wow! Thank
Isn't that
God.
crazy? Yeah, amen.
That's awesome. That means it's gonna be full time in like 3 years.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
We live in Atlanta, and I think we get a lot of that technology early. But you're right, in 5 years we'll see that happen. But
you have a connection to Vegas too, right? Have you been doing some stuff out at the Jimmy Kimmel?
Oh yeah, that's right. You were at Jimmy Kimmel's place.
Yeah, I was at Jimmy Kimmel. I was there a few months ago, and I was doing some shows, and I used to host America's Got Talent in Vegas at the
Right.
Luxor. And that show was, I mean, first off, every show in Vegas is crazy. They're amazing. I mean, it's like it's like if you live in Vegas too, you know everybody. So not everybody, but somebody that can get you like free tickets to shows.
Right.
You can kind of just go. You can just watch the most amazing things you'll ever see in your entire life. It's crazy, but it's funny because I say you can't fire me for my job. But when I was hosting at the Luxor for America's Got Talent, I didn't get fired. Okay, I didn't get fired. But this is what happened. This was like in 2020. Was this 2021 or 2022 or early? I think it was 2022. It was like early 2022. And I was hosting. It's an amazing show. If you ever get a chance to watch it, just definitely watch it. But I brought up all the, the acts, and I'm like, yeah, give it up for Light Balance, and give it up for, this person, that, and I do 5 minutes, and then I bring other acts, and I do another 5 minutes, and then I do outros, and I'm like, give it up for Jimmy Harrod and Deli Game and Do It Transcend. And then I was like, thank God, for his wife. He won last seasons of America's Got Talent, Dustin Devella. And then Dustin Devella walks on stage and he slapped me. And he said, keep my wife's name out your, right? So this is like the same week that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Right? So everybody was dying. Everybody was dying. We didn't tell anyone. We just set it up ourselves.
Yeah.
So the audience was cracking up, and the whole crew was like, look at this. You guys are idiots. So everyone was like, then the next day they like wrote me up. And I was
what?
Like, what?
They wrote you up?
They wrote me. I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is this? They were like, we just need to sign this because you agreed to not do this. And I was like, okay, you guys are writing a comedian up for being funny. So, all right. But
like in school.
You got a demerit for doing something
that's
funny?
What it was.
Isn't that your job?
But it's not, I don't even know if it's ran by America's Got I think it's ran by Circus Olay, I think, or something.
Oh, okay, got you.
I don't know, but anyway, they wrote me up. But it was the most amazing show I've ever been a part of. It was crazy. It was amazing. But I don't want to do that. That's not what I wanted. It's like
no.
It's like working on a cruise ship. That's what it feels like.
You had to do that. Vacation. What was that, like 3 times a day too? Is it like how many shows?
No,
were you
it was
doing
like twice a day. It was really comfortable. It was something I could have got comfortable doing. Yeah, I mean but that was the problem.
Was the money good? Like, did you make good money doing that? Or is this part of like some contractual agreement when you go on AGT and you become a top 10?
Hold on one second.
Yeah. Take your time.
Sorry. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. It's doing a podcast right now.
Oh, you are?
You're being disrespectful.
Well, you got some.
You're being...
Keeping this in.
I know.
He just got lunch.
All right, thank you, Darren. That was like my best friend. Anyway, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Good. Hey, nice to see you again.
So what were you saying? I'm so sorry.
I was saying, do you make money, like good money doing the Luxor hosting thing, or is that part of like a contractual obligation when you get on AGT and you make it to a certain level, then you say
it's part of your duties.
It's just part of your duties and you get paid like a flat fee
man,
that you agreed to before you even got, I say famous, but I know you were a comic before AGT, but is that a good paying job? Could you get comfortable and make good money doing that?
Yeah, I definitely make way more money on the road, but it is a decent paying job for the little amount that I do.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't do much. Yeah, I'm doing 5 minutes. I bring, some people up. I change my outfit. I do another set. The show as a whole is amazing. I mean, it's like, I think it's life-changing. You see people like laugh during the show. They get scared. I see people cry. I mean, wow. It's an incredible show, but it's not my show. It's not about me.
Right.
It's not about Cody Lee. It's not about, Jimmy Harrod. It's not about any of these people. It's about America's Got Talent. And it's an incredible show. And it's really cool the way they put it together. I don't know what they're doing now. I'm sure it's great. It's probably not as good, for one reason.
That's right.
Because I'm not in there. That's the reason. No,
do they put you up at some suite in the Luxor? Like, do you get like
no. I lived in Summerlin. I didn't even go to the Strip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I lived in Summerlin, which is 25 minutes away from the Strip, it was great. I love living in Vegas. I love Vegas. I mean, I think I love Vegas the same reason I love Orlando. Because when people think of Orlando, they always think of Disney World and they think of
Yep.
Universal and Fun Spot and SeaWorld. And when they think of Vegas, they think of like the Strip. They think of like strip clubs and all that stuff. But it's like outside of that, it's like a dope city. You know,
Yeah.
It's like a super dope city. Everything's super cheap.
I have
There's
heard
no
that.
traffic. Yeah, it's awesome. Zero state tax. That's real good.
There you go.
I ain't mad at that.
Live in Georgia.
I ain't
It's
mad.
terrible here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a friend who lives in Vegas, and he just loves it. He's like you. He's like,
People
you know
love
what,
it.
Brian? It's like some people who go and they live at the beach, right? And they say to me, and I've heard this before on numerous occasions from numerous people living on the beach, I don't go to the beach. That's what tourists do. I love my town because I love my town. I like to go, I like my little spots in my town. And occasionally if a friend comes in town, we'll go hang out at the beach for a couple of hours. And they say the same thing about the Strip. It's like, I don't go to the Strip. I mean, maybe on a Friday night if I got to go meet some, out-of-towners or some people that are coming in town, I go to the Strip. I like Vegas because of the stuff outside the Strip.
Exactly.
And Orlando, too. They're like, I don't go to Disney World every day. I know it's there.
I'm not going to Disney World,
I know it's there, but so is the traffic, right? So,
yeah, oh my gosh, bro. But
you live in Orlando, right?
I used to. I haven't lived there in about 8 years, but I lived there for like 5 years, and I love Orlando. Like it's like I can't live there anymore, but I love like Florida in general. I know
Florida
people,
too. Yeah.
man, I love Florida, and I know people trash Florida and they say things, and everything they say about Florida that they're right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's a magical place.
It is.
It's a magical place. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. But I lived in Orlando for about 5 years. And that's why I grew as a comedian. I think that helped me out so much because it's actually funny because a lot of the comedians that are popping off right now are from Orlando. But Orlando's so diverse.
Yeah.
It's so diverse. You have people, I mean, when you're doing Orlando improv, it's all you do is just a bunch of tourists the whole time. It's a bunch of tourists coming from different cities. So a lot of people are not even from that part of the world. They just kind of like, they kind of visit and they stay. Like I thought all, this is going to sound bad. I'm not even going to say it.
Say it. You can say it. It's a commercial break. We don't give a shit.
No. I thought all Spanish people were Mexican, so I moved to Orlando. People were like, I'm Ecuadorian. I'm like, what part of Mexico was that? Like, I just didn't know. And then I moved to Florida, and I was like, look at all these different Mexicans. And then I didn't know that was super disrespectful. But yeah, so my ex is Puerto Rican. I mean, they have Dominican people, which I didn't know. I thought they were just black. And I was like, why is this black dude speaking Spanish? Like, I just was so confused. And then you have like Haitian people, the Brazilian people. It's just, it's so many, it's just
cultures.
People so many different cultures.
That's
people
really
kind of
true.
European. Yeah, it's just like, it's just pretty, it's crazy. So, but I love Florida. I love Orlando. And it was just like,
we do too. And, so my wife is Venezuelan, from Venezuela. Not like, she was born here,
nice.
Her parents were born here or whatever, from Venezuela.
Nice.
If you go to Miami and you lived in Miami your entire life, you might not be faulted for thinking that all Latinos or Latinas are Venezuelan, because it's like all of Miami is, there's more Venezuelans down there than Cuba. And I think like one of the things that my wife and I often laugh about is that some people, there are a lot of people who do think that all Latinos are Mexican. And it's kind of
especially on the West Coast, because if you're on the West Coast, it's all there
Mexicans.
Is.
Yeah,
it's all Mexican people.
It's geographically where you grow up or where they came from, right? It's like, in Venezuela, they fly through Miami, and, Cubans, obviously, sometimes they even take boats over to Miami, which is super fucking dangerous. And it shows you how much they want to get to this country for their freedom. So I want to go back to Vegas for 1 minute. So I see you have upcoming dates at Jimmy Kimmel's place too. Krissy and I we had Lunell on a couple of days ago.
Great.
And it's the first time I ever heard that Jimmy Kimmel has a comedy club.
Yeah.
So did Jimmy do it right? Is it a nice comedy club?
Yeah, there's not nice comedy clubs for sure, and that one is a nice one. Yeah, it's fine. It's like most comedy clubs are fine. It's very rare when I'm like, this is amazing, or I'm like, this sucks. I think that's so. But most comedy clubs, I'm like, yeah, this works.
Yeah.
So I think that yeah, they're very professional because it's Jimmy Kimmel's club, but
You
yeah,
got to
they're
button
great.
it
They're
up.
great.
Yeah,
She
you don't
does
want
that. She does. Lunel does that. She has like a residency there or
Yes.
something.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does like 2
she's there
shows a
like
month, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3
yeah,
shows
she's
a
there.
month.
She was there after me when I was just there a couple months ago, and it was like yeah. So I'm going back this summer, but yeah, I was yeah. She was she packs it out. So
I got to tell you, you are a really dynamic comic. Now, we've been watching a lot of you because that's what we do when we get prepared for somebody, right? We watch a lot of their material, and you are just like, I think you're a really funny human being, like naturally funny. Did you? And I know that you joke a lot about in your sets. You'll joke a lot about how your childhood was not always super shiny. You moved 20 times, and your mom bought you a car bed when you were a senior in high school. That's the funniest bit. I think that's so funny. Do you think that comedy like grew out of the circumstances as a way to cope, or what? Why do you think what made you gravitate toward comedy?
It's wild because I think everyone likes making people laugh. I think everyone, when you make someone laugh, you're like, it's just oh snap, that felt good.
Yeah.
When you make someone blush or when you just make someone feel good, it feels good. So I always just like making people laugh. I wasn't like a super class clown, or I wasn't like, honestly, I didn't even know my life sucked until I started talking to other people. I was just,
That's usually the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's normal.
yeah, I feel like I feel like I had a great life, and I'll talk to other people, and then I'm like, "What? You guys had air conditioning, but then I'll talk to other people, and I'm like, "Oh, my life was great," like,
Sure.
for
It's all
sure.
perspective.
Some people's life was trash, but which is not fun. But I just like making people laugh. I never thought I was funny enough to be a comedian. I just was like, I'll do it because I want to be on a sitcom. That's the only reason I did it. I never really thought I was funny enough. And people made sure they told me that. They're like, you're not funny enough to be, which people had told me, which is fine.
Thanks.
Yeah.
They were wrong. People are wrong.
Right, that's right.
We get
Look
that
at me now.
we get that all the time at the commercial break. People will come up to us and they'll be like, "Oh, I heard you had a podcast called The Commercial Break," and I'll be like, "Yeah, it's we do have a podcast," and they'll go, "Yeah, I listened to it."
And then that's it.
And that's it. That's the end of the
Like,
conversation.
So our tagline for a little while was, "It's not for everyone."
It's not for everyone.
They'll just say they listened to it.
Yeah,
That's preacher. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I did one time. I did I had a thin mustache. I was just trying some stuff out with my facial hair.
Yeah.
And then I had my friends say, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "So you don't like it? That's fine." I mean, you just say you like it, or you could just not say anything.
Right.
That would be, but they would just.
People are silly, but you know what? That puts fire in my belly. Like then I want to go out and prove people wrong, right? I don't think I've done it yet, but someday I intend. To prove people wrong.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep proving me right. That's what my goal is.
Amen.
That's right.
I like it.
Yeah, because I don't want to convince people that don't like me. Someone doesn't like me, they don't like me.
Move on.
I remember someone asked me, they were like, "What's your perfect audience? What do they look like?" And I was like, "They look like they like me." That's all I care about.
Look like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what they were like, "What age and this and that and gender and this." I was like, "Bro, I want people that like me."
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with dating. I'm like, I'm
Yes.
not, I want to date a girl that's like, I really like, that's the main thing I like.
Yeah.
Is when the girl like me.
Right.
That's my
Yes.
number one thing. You like me? Oh, wow. We
That's
halfway there.
attractive.
Are you a boob guy? Are you a butt guy? No, I'm a guy who's into girls who like me guy.
Yeah, I'm a light guy.
Yeah,
I'm a light guy. And what if she doesn't have a booty? Does she like me though with her non-booty?
Yeah, that's all I give a shit about.
That's
I can
good.
deal
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
rest. Do you when you like, what's the catalyst to going on AGT? Like, if you're knocking around, probably, I would imagine, being a journeyman, like a lot of comics do, just hitting the clubs and doing improvs and, doing open mic nights. And then what spurs on AGT? Does someone say, hey, you should go try out for AGT? Or is it just your...
Yeah, a bunch of people said that, and I tried out before. I tried out for America's Got Talent before. Yeah, I did. And it just didn't, I never got past a certain point, And then, there's so much you have to do. Like, there's tens of thousands. There's so many people that audition that they're not all going in front of Simon. So they have other producers where you audition in front of them, and then they're like, all right, here, we'll push you on, so, they got to make it
uncomfortable, man. It's got to be uncomfortable just sit in front of one producer and try and make them laugh. And they would probably have a minute to do it. When you first go in for the audition, it's probably just a bunch of people in little small rooms, right? You go in, you try and make.
I was with some woman and she had her 3 kids there, and her 3 kids were like, doing a bunch of, they were just not behaving. And so I'm like doing jokes while 1 or 2 of the kids are fighting, and then the older kids are like, I hate my siblings, and then she just kind of like trying to listen to me, but she's like, all right, stop. Okay, go ahead, go do your joke. And it's like, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get past this point, and then I ended up getting past that point. But there was a time where I auditioned, and there was 3 producers, and there's 1 lady in the middle, and there was 2 guys on the side. Or I don't know. I know there's a guy next to her. I don't know who was on her right, but I remember her laughing the whole time, and then the other people not laughing. And I was like, well, she laughed. She likes me. Yeah. And then they didn't like me. And it's all good. I think I wasn't ready. I was so glad they didn't pick me back then. I'm so glad they picked me when they picked me, because I had more material developed. But the reason I auditioned for America's Got Talent, I was like, I was broke. Like, I had to borrow money from my first episode to get a haircut from my brother. So like, I just was like, I need something. And then I remember, like, there's some people, I don't want to throw them on the bus, but they were like begging me. They were like begging me not to do America's Got Talent. They're like, don't do it. You gotta, like, because people always think, back to like American Idol when it first started, when people win, there's like a contract and you're stuck in the contract. You can't be yourself. And America's Got Talent, they don't want that. They like superstars. So when you blow up and become a superstar, we're like, hey, we were a part of that. They like that. They like when you do well, especially on your own. So,
and were those other people, those naysayers, were they other comics that were like, listen, or managers or whoever who were like,
honestly, I'm not going to tell you who they are.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put them on the bus.
You don't want to put them on blast?
I don't want to put them on blast. But but they begged me not to do it. They were like, don't do it. I just read through this contract, and it's like slavery. And I was like, I don't think it's like slavery. I don't
think slaves had contracts.
I don't think slaves were like, well, they did have contracts. They weren't a part of it, though.
Right.
They
weren't
choice,
that's true. Yeah.
And they weren't like, this is just like getting judged from Simon Cowell. I think it's a little different. So, but they were like, don't do it, because they had they knew someone else that did it, and then that person did really bad.
Gotcha.
So, just they were like, it negatively impacted their career, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do bad, and if I do bad, I just do bad, but I'm not gonna not take this opportunity. It's crazy,
absolutely.
Man. So I did it. And then it,
you're
just
a
worked
fan
out.
favorite.
Yeah, you were a fan favorite.
Gosh, you've been all over the place.
We have a lady that works for us. Her name is Marianne. She is a huge Preacher Lawson fan. When we told her,
awesome.
We have we communicate in this little chat group, and when you agreed to come on the show, she got so excited. Yeah. She was like, "Oh my God, Preacher Lawson! I love him from AGT." And so when you do so well in AGT, is it like an instant change in your life? I mean, you're doing network television TV in front of millions of people. That's got to show up at the comedy clubs you're playing at. Like, all of a sudden your name is in bright lights. Is there like an immediate change once you get that far?
Immediate. I mean, I had like about 3,000 followers on the Instagram. when I first got on America's Got Talent. And then after it aired, I think I jumped to like 25,000.
Wow.
And then by the end of it, I was like at 100,000. And, you know, it's just like it gave me my first boost. And now I'm at like 700 something thousand on Instagram. And I got 3.4 million on TikTok. So, I mean, that's all from like me being on like, you know, network TV and all these, and you know, my special helped me out a lot. But yeah, it for sure has absolutely positively changed my life. I've been super lucky. I mean, every show this weekend, besides this past weekend, have been sold out. So I just had 3 months of sold out shows this year, and I did the show America's Got Talent in 2017.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you. I'm a big believer that there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. One of my kids, he's in the back of the car. He loves directions. He loves to know which way we're going. Are we going right or are we going left? Which way are we going to go to Grandpa's house? This or that or the other thing. And so one of the lessons that I've taught him through this, his love of directions and knowing where we're going, is I say, listen, son, there are a lot of different ways to get to the same place, and sometimes it's just because you choose a particular road. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get to the same place, and I believe that about careers too, or your destiny, or the thing you're supposed to fulfill. Is it doesn't matter. You go whichever way you want to. Everyone's heading in the same direction, and so I think, you know, having that kind of exposure, there's no comparison. What else in the world, maybe with the notable exception of being a random comic who gets on, you know, Kimmel or something like that, like what else in the world could give you that kind of exposure? And quite frankly, I think AGT has about 20 million more people watching than even Jimmy Kimmel. It's a crazy popular show.
No, it is. It is the new. It was the new Jimmy, you know, like late night show. It was the new late night. Yeah. It was America's Got Talent. That's what it was. And now it's TikTok.
Right, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Now TikTok is the new one that blow. I mean, listen, like there's so many ways to blow up. I mean, some people are blowing up on YouTube. Some people are blowing up on Facebook. You know, like there's everyone's famous. You know, it's not even like everybody's famous. You know, it's so it's room for everyone to do whatever they want to do. I mean, we're lucky enough to be in the world where it's like you're praised for authenticity. So you be yourself, and people are like, I love that. I'm also like that. You know, people are like, oh, I'm also feeling like this, or I also, you know, have this anxiety, or I also have I struggle with this, or I also this makes me, you know. So all comedy is relatability. That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, and so. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think that there's everyone's doing really well right now. I mean, not everyone can do well.
Remember that famous
artist,
so many people. Andy Warhol?
Yeah.
And he said everybody will have their 15 in the future. Everybody will be famous for something. They'll have their 15 minutes, right? Which is where the term 15 minutes of fame comes from. And it's so true. Like, you don't need AGT anymore. You can connect directly with people who like your comedy.
Exactly.
In a way that you can cultivate your own audience. And when we talk to everybody says the same thing. It's like, can you imagine, you know, George Carlin or Eddie Murphy back when he was getting started, whoever it was, they were like little gods. They appeared on HBO, you know, once every 7 months with another hour.
Yeah.
And that material was sitting there to be revered, and you didn't know much else. Now, everything is funny, and you can connect with your fans at every level, at any time, all the time. And that's
people,
just
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, people, like what you were to tag on what you were saying, like, people know you from different things.
Yeah.
You know, like, so there's some people that know me from AGT, some people know from my special, some people just know me for TikTok. I was on stage yesterday. I went to an open mic with my friend, a friend of mine. I was in town, and he's a comedian, and he goes to open mic. I was like, I'll go with you. So I went on stage. Before I even got on stage, before I even said anything, there was a woman that was like, "Oh my gosh, you the booty dude," and I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm known for now." I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, you know, like. But so some people know me for that, you know. So it's like. You know,
that's funny.
I had seen some of your comedy special, and I knew who you were. I didn't even know that you were on AGT until Marianne told us. I had no idea.
Okay.
I had seen you on YouTube, and Instagram and other places, but I didn't know until she told me that you were on AGT. So I think in some world you've surpassed AGT. Like, your AGT moment, it stepped you up, but now you're being recognized for its work on its own. So you're Krissy and I wanted to know, you're going to the Bing Crosby Theater later in your tour.
Speaking of TikTok.
How's Bing? Is Bing on TikTok?
I think isn't he dead? He's dead, right?
For like 80 years. Yeah.
Oh,
Bing's been dead for a while. Wow. I just thought it was so funny, the Bing Crosby Theater. Like, that's a draw. Come on down, Bing Crosby Theater.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't need to know who that is.
I know another Cosby, and I was like, should I perform there? I don't know. I'm not going to drink that water on stage.
No.
Yeah.
And is it your birthday coming up? Because I see that you have a birthday show coming up. So when's your birthday?
Yeah, 2 days. It's my birthday.
Right. Happy birthday.
That's my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, buddy. It is. Yeah.
I'm your dad.
You could be. Actually, I could be your dad is probably more what it's like.
I don't think you could be my dad. There's no way.
I think I could be your dad. How old are you?
I'll be 33.
I could be your dad, but I would be a real young dad. Yeah,
that would have been a creepy situation that happened to make that happen.
Yeah. You could be like a older brother where the parents thought they were done, but then they just
you were the surprise.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yo, this idiot came along. I couldn't do what you was doing, and then you get mad at me for that. When I was younger, they didn't let me breathe outside. So
is that your brother playing with you or just sharing the same last name? There's another Lawson playing on your birthday show.
That's my brother. That's my big brother. Yeah,
that's super.
That's your big brother.
I'm the youngest. Yeah, all my siblings are older than me. Yeah.
Do you guys go on tour together? Do you play shows a lot together?
Yeah, sometimes I'll take my mom and my brother, and it'd be a family show.
Wow, look at that. That would be cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Super cool, yeah.
If any of my brothers had a sense of humor, I'd bring them on the show. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, man, that is great. What fun.
Yeah.
Hey, so PreacherLawson.com is where you get tickets for the tour. He's got a new special that's going to drop on YouTube. When are we dropping on YouTube?
It'll be on March 18th.
March 18th. March 18th on YouTube. PreacherLawson.com.
It's my mom's birthday.
All the socials. Is it your mom's birthday?
It's my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday to your mom.
Where did you
our parents love being born in March, baby.
My stepmom, my dad, my little brother, and one of my first cousins is actually, they're all born in March. Something about March babies.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. What about you?
I'm a Virgo in September, so I am an asshole.
Okay.
I just had a February 19th birthday.
Happy belated birthday. That make you an Aries?
I'm actually on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, so whichever horoscope is better for the day, that's the one I go to.
Okay, cool.
Are you coming to Atlanta?
I was in Atlanta like a couple years ago. I try to go there at least once every year and a half,
Yeah, you kind of try and make your way around. Like
I try to get some new material and come back. But yeah, I was there. I should be there soon. But yeah, I got a house in Decatur.
Oh, you do?
No way.
Yeah, and my mom lives in Atlanta. So
I'm down in Grant Park.
Yeah, you guys aren't too far away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to live in Atlanta. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
We love Atlanta. And when you come, look us up. And if you come for a show, then we will definitely be there because we like to see our guests in action. That's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. If you need tickets, I know a guy.
All right.
Buddy, I'm going to take you up on that offer for
Absolutely.
sure.
I got you.
PreacherLawson.com, all the socials. Don't miss his special dropping March 18th on his YouTube channel. Please go there. He's a super funny gentleman and a really nice guy to talk to,
Absolutely. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
I think he'll be back. I have a suspicion. Thank you, Preacher. We appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, I really enjoy talking to Preacher.
He was amazing. He really was. So down to earth.
I agree.
Yeah.
You watch him on his specials, and he's got this certain kind of energy. There's when you get through a few of these, like we have, there's certain people you give them one word and they talk for a half an hour, which is great because, quite frankly, it takes the pressure off us to do all of the talking. And then you get into some people like Tom Papa, where you just have like a really thoughtful exchange, back and forth that feels interesting in ways that aren't necessarily silly or goofy. And I felt that way about Preacher. And I expected, that kind of go, get him energy. And what we got, I think, was a really thoughtful conversation.
I agree.
About a number of things like morning breath working out.
Exactly.
Making
the
out,
important
making
subjects.
Out, the important subjects that are all there. So preacherlawson.com, that's where you get all the information about Preacher. We'll put all the stuff in the show notes as we usually do. Also catch him on Instagram and TikTok. 3.2 million followers on TikTok. Jesus Jones. He's got more followers than Hannah, and she's like the queen of TikTok right now. And not that it's a competition, but come on, Hannah, what's going on? Throwing the gauntlet down here. We have 137 followers on TikTok. Of course, we haven't posted in a year and a half, but that's okay. We'll get to it. We're finally breaking 1,000 on Instagram. Yeah. We're almost at 5,000 on Instagram, which I probably shouldn't be sharing on the show. I should probably just leave it alone, but I should probably not say anything at all. Yeah. Like my mom used to say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say it at all.
Right.
But whatever. Thank you to the few of you who are jumping over to Instagram and following us. You can do that.
You followed us last.
You followed us last. The internet. You heard it here last. The internet's here to stay. Instagram is becoming a thing. I don't know if you know, but Instagram is becoming a thing. So follow us.
It's taking off.
Yeah, just like Clubhouse. Get on the bandwagon. Fireside. All the rest of the social media platforms that we purposefully chose to make content on while ignoring Instagram and TikTok. I mean, look at us.
It's that keen sense of intuition.
Yeah, that's right.
That
just like real estate, podcast networks, and social media. We have a keen instinct for finding the right ones. But not Odyssey. We love Odyssey. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about Odyssey. Love that Odyssey. They are fantastic. PreacherLawson.com. Please go there. And he's on tour all over the place. So I'm sure you can get tickets at a town near you because he's on one of those tours like a lot of the comedians are. I also wanted to say that Krissy and I, after episode number 500, we'd like to start bringing you on as a guest to do an Ask TCB. Tell us something interesting, whatever it is. We'd like to hear from you live on the show. So if you do us a favor, text us or leave us a voicemail at 1-212-433-3TCB. We'll give you some information on how you can get on the show. If you're interesting enough. If you're not, then I'm just not going to respond to you. So congratulations.
Exactly. And we could also respond to voicemails too if you don't feel quite comfortable.
Yeah, if you don't want to get on here, you can do voicemails. But most of the voicemails that have been left have been... I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'll talk about it. Okay. I'll talk about... our voicemails and my Ring doorbell are getting the same action. I'll explain... on a different episode or an episode you've already heard. Who knows when this comes out, but we'd like to thank Preacher for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be with the commercial break today. Really enjoyed that conversation, and I do think we're going to put him in the comeback bucket.
Yes, we are. He's in.
Yeah, he's in. Out of the 7 guests we've had, 6 of them have made it into the comeback bucket, and I'll leave you to guess who the 7th is. All right. TCBpodcast.com. That's where you go. You find out more information about the show. You can watch all the video, listen to all the audio right there from one location, TCBpodcast.com. You can also get your free Piggy Fronting sticker, now available to you for free. Go to the Contact Us button on the website, hit the drop-down menu, I want my free sticker, give us your physical address, and we'll send it away. And some people who have been longtime listeners of the commercial break are getting a extra special gift. I'm telling you what, Krissy, I'll tell you what it is after the show. We want to save it as a surprise, but it's a badass gift. We use it here in the studio ourselves. You'll have to guess until it shows up at your front door.
It's a microphone.
It's a microphone. It's a contract to be the co-host of the commercial break. It's this TV that I can never get straight. As I mentioned before, 1-212-433-3TCB. That's 212-433-3TCB. Text or leave a voicemail. Questions, comments, concerns. Ask TCB, ask Bryan's mom if you want to be on the show. That's the number. Go there. It rings right here in the studio. We'd love to hear from you. And if you do leave a voicemail, be on notice. You may end up on the show, although no one has yet. You may end up on the show. I mean, make it interesting, guys. Make it interesting. You know what I'm saying? Also, at The Commercial Break on that newfangled Instagram. TCB Podcast on TikTok. Promise I'll start posting there real soon. And we would just love it if you would go to youtube.com/thecommercialbreak, as Dr. Phil would say. Follow us, watch our videos. All the interviews are up there. Selected episodes get up there also. And follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
That's right.
Please, especially if you're an Apple user. You actually have to go and download the episodes yourself now, so make sure that you do that every Tuesday through Friday. All right, Krissy, I guess that's all I can do for today.
I think so.
Thanks, Preacher, for coming on board.
Absolutely.
I love him. I love you.
I love you.
Best to you.
Best to you.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, Krissy and I will say, we do say, and we must say,
goodbye.